it, this is the closest racing you're going to find in SCCA road racing. All right, heading to the track now for their pace lap. Our pole sitter, our winner from yesterday, will lead them on to the track in the RP Performance FART Mazda Miata from Wrightsville, Pennsylvania, the qualifying time of 129.599. Jordy Fuhrman, he's our 2025 MARRS champion. John Hotz will start on the outside of the front row in the Hot Stuff Racing number 63 with Christopher Kelly driving the 132 RP Performance Riley Kelly Mazda Miata. He hails from Newmarket, Maryland. Arif Kazim will start fourth today. He's in the number 98 Redline Oil Mazda. And Nathan Lucas driving the number 67 Southern DC Region Racing Mazda Miata. I'm going to have to ask him about that at some point. He's from Oakton, Virginia. He's going to start fifth. Zach Augustine will start in the number 12 car today. The Convenience Tire and Auto Mazda will start sixth. Kevin Gaiman in the 113 Dwarf Racing RP Performance entry from Downingtown, Pennsylvania will start seventh on the outside of row number 4 with the number 76 Elias Heating and Air Conditioning entry from Potomac, Maryland. We've got Ron Etsy, and we need to talk to him about some air conditioning work, by the way. Jay Bindrum will start ninth. Jay's in the Mind and Body Clinic, number 88 Mazda. He's from Noakesville, Virginia. Starting 10th, Luke Fedowitz in the RP Performance Mazda. He hails from Ellicott City, Maryland. And then we've got starting 11th, the number 22 RP Performance Mazda of Mark Sylvia. Miranda Price scheduled to start 12th today. We'll see if that car has made the grid. She had some mechanical issues yesterday, and she's out of Strasburg, Virginia. Parker Bowden starting 13th. He's in the number 32 RP Performance entries, Purcellville, Maryland. Zachary Sines was up a little bit earlier today in that production. He brings the same car out from Charlestown, West Virginia, starting 14th. Davey Ahern in the Bluestone Racing RP Performance Mazda starts 15th. On the outside of row number 8, it's Scott Kane. He drives the number 97 Mazda, while John Maslin starting 17th. He's in the number 16 machine. Nathan Reynolds will start 18th. He's in the RP Performance Mazda from Stafford, Virginia. Starting 19th, Jim Roberts in the Jim Roberts West Main entry from Mount Joy, Pennsylvania. And starting 20th, Curtis Fredericks out of Winchester, Virginia is the starter. Looks over the field, and green flag is in the air. And once again, John Hotz from the outside lane gets a huge jump on Jordy Fuhrman. Yesterday, Fuhrman was so deep on the brakes, though, he was able to retake the lead going into turn number 1. Can he do it again today? Indeed, he does. The yellow 132 of Chris Kelly tries to follow him through with Arif Kazim stuck to the outside. And as they come out of turn 2 and make the run down to turn 3, John Hotz with the inside position, he gets around Jordy Fuhrman to take over the lead.
Tell you what, Christopher Kelly got gobbled up by Arif Kazim and Nathan Lucas as they went 3 wide coming out of turn number 2. They had to get that settled as they went down. It does look like Lucas may have put 2 wheels off going up in the up to the hill down into turn number 4. It looks like that has been all settled down.
Well, the 67 machine now moving into 3rd position and getting around Arif Kazim. So great start for Nate Lucas, who started this race in 5th, picking up 2 positions here in just the first few corners.
Yeah, definitely, as we saw the field start to, back half of the field start to single file out early on when they got out at turn number 1 and 2. Now the front half starting to single file out, starting to get into that rhythm as about 2 groups go with the Spec Miata category, where it's all about the finding a drafting partner and keeping the momentum up. It's the same thing with this one, as we see John Hotz and Jordy Fuhrman start to go to turn number 10. Jordy Fuhrman right up on the back end of John Hotz. Jordy coming into this weekend battling a little bit of an ankle injury a couple weeks ago. For his birthday. Did about a 100-mile bike, 100 miles on the bike, lives in New York City, went all the way up to upstate New York, came back, unfortunately, a couple days later fell down the stairs, and I mean,
so it's not a bicycling injury.
It was originally called, the source was the bicycle ride, but though, you know, he said I basically had the past couple weeks had to get it worked up and get the strength back in to do heel towing. You couldn't tell that he's been battling an injury the way he's been racing for the past 2 days.
One word for that, klutz.
Oh my gosh, oh there you go. So Jordy Fuhrman now working his way down through the chute with John Hotz. Now, Hotz was our winner in Spec Miata just a little bit earlier. Big differences between the cars in Spec Miata. They've got spec lines for the 1.6 liter Miatas, the 1.8 Miatas, the NA and NB Miatas. Some of the Spec Miatas could even have the variable valve timing engines like the 1999 and 2000 cars. All of these are the original NA Miatas with 1.6 liter motors. They are sealed. They are dyno tuned, that they all have to fall within a very narrow window of performance here, and it really promotes very close racing in the MARRS series.
Tell you what, good little battle a little bit further back between Jay Bindrum, Zachary Sainz, along with Mark Sylvia. They were too wide going down into turn number 5. Got that settled out as they came through the carousel. Zachary Sainz going to move a little bit ahead of Sylvia, but it is Jay Bindrum who's going to work under the, try to catch back up to Luke Fedowitz in that number 75.
All right, good move there as Ron Etienne came out of turn 10, gets by Kevin Gaiman. As Gaiman was trapped to the outside, Etienne moving up in the 7th with 26 1/1000ths of a second on the 113 machine. Luke Fedowitz now in 9th position with Jay Bindrum right there as well, and Zach Sainz. That whole group now coming out of, they're actually going into turn number 1 as we've got a 3-car breakaway at the front of the field. Hotz, Furman, and Nate Lucas, your fastest racer on that second lap. Not much anywhere for him to go as he's tucked in right behind him as we move back a little bit further in the field now.
Yeah, I tell you what, driver we don't normally see in this SSM group that's normally up front there. Again, Nathan Lucas, he's making his presence known here with Jordy Fuhrman and John Hotz, getting in between the middle of them. Look for Nathan Lucas to start making the move here pretty soon because he seems to be the fastest car right now in certain parts of this racetrack.
Well, this might be the first time we've seen in quite some time if Nate Lucas can take the win here today, where we'll have family members winning 2 races in a row here in the MARRS series, as Nate's father, Jeff, just came away with that ITS win a few moments ago.
I don't think that's ever happened here. You say that. I don't think we've ever had a father-son duo win back-to-back races.
No.
On a weekend.
Not that I can remember.
No.
Well, you talk about that. First SSM start since 2024 Labor Day MARRS. Did a little bit of racing last year in ITS T4 and a NC Mazda MX-5. Won a couple races at the Labor Day MARRS last year.
Tell you what, there it is. John Hotz is going to go out and work with Nathan Lucas. They're going to push them both around. Jordy Fuhrman, again, this is a good points battle between John Hotz and Fuhrman. We're not seeing some of the local, or not some of the regulars that we see over the course of the normal years in this SSM. So that points battle is going to come down between those two. It's going to be important for John to work with somebody else other than Jordy Fuhrman in this race. So pushing Nate Lucas to the front, that's a big move for John Hotz.
Yeah, we talked about it. Coming out of VIR, Jordy Fuhrman was second in the point standings, now moved up to first, though, after he won an appeal on a penalty that he had back at the March MARRS. So that shot him up the standings and has a good amount of a lead, a cushion over Chris Kelly so far.
That's right, almost 200 points separating Furman and Kelly as of yesterday. Eric Chasm, 3rd in the championship, another 170 or so points back from there. Zach Augustine, 4th in the championship currently, and actually as we look at our rookies, Zach Augustine 4th in the championship, Luke Fedowitz 8th in the championship, Parker Moden 11th in the championship.
Yeah, I talked to Zach Augustine a little bit. Had a bit of a late night, make the 2-hour drive down to Dominion for another race, a late model race down there that was won by Minnie Tyrell. We talked about the relationship between those two families yesterday and Minnie getting Zach involved into racing. So didn't even get back here until about the early hours of the morning. Had some problems with the car yesterday though. Took it to an alignment shop down the road this morning and found out there was no camera in the car. So it was pretty much just, his comments were, let's just see what happens today. But he said, I'm going to dial it back just a little bit. You know, he got his competitions, like you said, back in March, and he's just one more race away from getting that comp license. So
when you started it off by saying that Zach had a late night last night, well, all I could say is times have changed and these racers have gotten a lot younger. And at 16 years old, I probably was thinking the wrong thing. But good run for him so far here today. Parker Moden, another one of our rookies, also only 16 years old, and Luke Fedowitz now at 15 years old. So definitely, you know, when we add them all up, Brian, they're almost as old as we are.
I was going to say, when I heard the word late night, I mean, I stayed up to watch a little bit of the 24 hours of Le Mans.
Yeah, but a late night.
I was at Bennett at 8:45.
I was
late night.
The night staying up to watch Johnny Carson. They're long gone.
Still dark. I mean, it's still light out when I went to bed yesterday.
That's right. It's supposed to be where it was light out when I woke up this morning. Anyway, here as our leaders now coming into turn 10, and it is Nathan Lucas into the lead, and then on the last lap, shuffled John Hotz back into third as Jordy Fuhrman took over control of second position. And that's how we wrap up lap number 5 of 20, 15 laps remaining. Chris Kelly settling into a nice little rhythm in fourth, but unfortunately we can see here he's about 6 car lengths back from these leaders, maybe just outside the draft. And unless he can either A, find a way to pick up another couple of tenths, or pick up Arif Kazim, maybe it makes sense for him to drop back a little bit, pick up Kazim, and then work forward, because it's the last time through. Actually, Chris Kelly picked up maybe a quarter of a second on the 3 drivers ahead.
I think he's still getting a little bit of that draft, but you're right. He's kind of on that borderline, Greg, of that no man's land or the no driver's land, right? Because you're at a point where if those 3 really stay tucked nose to tail, they're going to drive away from him. Then he's either going to make a decision: do I continue to keep pushing it, or do I drop back to get with Arif Kazim? When those front 3 start to battle, then I can go and try to run them down.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Just try and maybe, hopefully Chris Kelly and Arif Kazim and Zach Augustine maybe try to hook up. I think they're just a little too far away from each other, where if they did, it would basically losing a lot more time.
And in this lap, certainly we can see now where Kelly has fallen back maybe another 3 car lengths or so as they come under the bridge and onto the front straight.
As we say that, though, here comes Jordy Fuhrman, pops out of line, might try to take John Hotz with them. As we said, though, don't know if it was a little bit too early, though, as they come across the front straightaway, completing lap number 6. They're going to head down to turn 1. Looks like Jordy's going to pull up side by side. Hot's going to go to the outside behind Nathan Lucas. So, but it's just there side by side, even as it gets to the apex of turn 1.
Tell you what, we look at that front 3, and again now they're going to come out of turn number 2, and gentlemen, we're going to be 3 wide. So we talked about Christopher Kelly. Well, he's definitely going to get sucked up into the draft now, because we're going 3 wide. Hot's trying to cut over in front of Nate Lucas in that number 67. Lucas let John Hotz in right there. If it was towards the end of this race, gentlemen, he may have pushed that issue, knowing he was in the center. But another good battle going on just behind them as well. A little bit further back, and that's 7th, 8th, and 9th, and that's Ron Etienne in the 76, Luke Fedowitz in the 75, along with Jay Bindrum in the 88. Those 3 were nose to tail, and Fedowitz and Etienne, they were side by side going down into turn 4.
All right, I think we actually picked them up, but I think they're coming through turn 5 now. There we go. We'll pick that battle up. And again, good fight we saw early on, where they were fighting it out going into turn 1, and that's one of the reasons why they are as far back as they are currently, almost 6 seconds back from our top 6. But they've been able to keep up the fight. Mark Sylvia there in the number 22 machine, running 10th overall. He's been closing things up a little bit there on Jay Bindrum. Kevin Gaiman not that far behind, having to deal with Zach Sainz right now. So in the midfield, a lot of close running here as we watch him coming out of 10.
Yeah, I tell you what, Fedowitz got around Etienne last time, Jay Bindrum, and you're right, Sylvia, and then a little bit further back, Kevin Gaiman. He's still getting there, getting a little bit of the sniff of the draft, not too much. He's going to end up falling back if he's not careful, and he's going to fall back to Parker Moto, or to Zachary Sainz, and then you got to go a little bit further back to Parker Moto. So again, it's going to depend on whether or not those 3 are going to act just like our leaders are. When the person tries to pull out of there and try to make that pass, if you don't have somebody going with you as they come up out of turn 2, you can see right here, Etienne and Jay Bindrum, they're going to stay in the driver's left. Tell you what, Fedowitz has got to get into that corner quickly. If not, he's going to outrun or run out of room right there, but he's able to make that stick, Greg.
All right, good pass there as they head now down through the chute. And again, every time they do, it maybe moves the green car a little bit closer, but he's still got a long, long way to go. The first green car, that being Kevin Gaiman in the 113, Zach Sainz in the darker green, just a little bit further behind.
See them here. Luke Fedowitz, though, coming off a couple years of karting, been doing that. for about 3 seasons, a couple wins up in the Northeast, second in the NYC Championship last year, highlighted by with the 9th place at the December Daytona Kart Week. Got into racing after watching Pierre Gasly win 2021 Monza. After that, said, you know, I like racing and I want to be involved in it somehow. And he first season so far, pretty good season, as we have a fight for lead that's going down to turn number 1 between the top 4. Jordy Fuhrman's going to lose a spot to Chris Kelly, and it is still John Hott. Maybe, and he does not. He will file still in 3rd. So, you know, everyone on the outside is weird. Jordy Fuhrman on the inside, the only car, as it looks like they're still going to go side by side with Kelly coming out of turn number 2.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Greg.
Oh, I was going to say, and the odd man out there again now, Jordy Fuhrman, as he falls back at the 4th position, and Brian, as they came out of turn 2, it looked like the Kelly car had quite a bit more drive. I don't know if the 8 car of Fuhrman is maybe down on power just a little bit, but he seems to, especially when he's beside another car, doesn't seem to have the straight line speed. He is relying on that draft just a little bit.
Well, he took an unorthodox line going down into turn number 1 because he tried to hold off, try to defend there, and then Kelly ended up going on the outside. We talked about it before, where that outside has some grip on the outside of turn 1 and turn 2, and he was able to make it, hold off, and then got back in line, and Fuhrman let him in and then moved in behind him. So I just think the line that Jordy took that time is now Kelly's going to go side by side with Nate Lucas out of turn number 10. What that's going to do, that's going to slow both of them up, and now that's going to allow Fuhrman to come side by side. We're going to go 3 wide down the front stretch, and the person there that's liking this, looking in the rearview mirror, is John Hotz.
All right, and now coming out of turn 10, another fight. Very much the same, although these drivers, for some reason, Brian, they didn't decide to go 3 wide, and it's the 75 machine of Luke Fedowitz leading Jay Binder, Mark Sylvia, Kevin Gaiman down the front straight, and Bindrum showing a lot more self-control, I think, than both Fuhrman and Chris Kelly there, as they now head down into 1.
Oh, little bit of a back end there, a little bit loose. Jay Bindrum got as the back end came around as they got to the apex. That's going to open the door, though, for Mark Sylvia to make a move, and he will. Excuse me, trying to see. Yeah, it's Mark Sylvia staying second behind Fedowitz, and now it looks like it's going to be Jay Bindrum, Kevin Gieman, and Mark Sylvia now in that second half. So about a 2-car breakaway now between, they were all 5, now it's 2-car and a 3-car train.
Yeah, so you got Luke Fedowitz in the red car. The first black car there, that is actually Ron Etzion right behind there. So those two battling it out, and you're right, Bindrum got really, really loose. That allowed Gaiman to come up there, and then Mark Sylvia tried to jump in that battle as well. Tell you what, we were talking about our front battle there, where John Hotz was really, really liking watching them go 3 wide through there. Now Jordy Fuhrman, as they come up out of turn number 10 and down the front stretch, it is Christopher Kelly. It is Jordy Fuhrman. They've broken away from Nate Lucas. So again, Greg, Nathan Lucas, odd man out there, and I think that may have been a product of something going side by side through the backside of this racetrack through the carousel.
Yeah, and now as we are now about halfway through this SSM race, that also has allowed Eric Chasm and Zach Augustine to perhaps get into this fight, or at least challenge Nate Lucas for 4th. Just got word from our quarter marshals down at turn 5 that other battle that we've been watching with Etzion and Gaiman and Sylvia, Jay Bindrum, had gone off at turn 5, and we've got a driver off at turn 10. And impact there, that is the number 7 machine, Davey Ahern, who had just run his fastest lap. He gets the car now as he's pulling it off the track as it bounced back on the track surface, so it clears out of the way. So we are now under local caution. We're under local caution over at turn 10, and the rest of the race here is clear. We'll see here, this may bring out another full course caution. Looked like a pretty good hit there into the tire wall.
Yeah, it ended up going off in turn number 10, and as we've talked about this many times, Greg, is when you come in there and you try to overcorrect and the grass picks that up, what ends up happening is that it just overcorrected and slid all the way across the racetrack.
Yeah, it's a common thing here. We see it also coming out of coming onto the back straight at Sebring as well. Pretty common there. You lose grip, you get one tire back on the pavement,
Yeah, exactly.
and you don't realize you got the wheel cranked over 75% of the way, and the car just loops right back over. All right, so we do have the emergency services workers checking in on the driver, and it sounds like from what we're hearing, the driver is okay. Again, we are still under a local caution as John Hotz is your leader, and we are going to go to a full course caution now as they're going to try to get that car removed from where it is, because it's still it's in a very bad spot, frankly, here.
Yeah.
So we're under full course caution as we do go now to the double yellows. John Hotz is your leader. Driver's out of the car, and he is jogging to the pit lane here. Looking to jump to the lead, but so will Chris Kelly, Nathan Lucas, Arif Kazem, and about 10 other drivers here as this last lap under caution is winding down.
Yeah, see John Hotz kind of backing up the field just a little bit from the safety car. So this should be interesting to see how this plays out with Jordy Fuhrman, Chris Kelly, Nate Lucas, Arif Kazem, Zach Augustine all be right behind them. And we're really good runs again. Now John Hotz was able to have that breakaway, and now he's got to go back to trying to defend basically about 4 or 5 cars right behind him as they come down turn number 10.
All right, now coming into the final corner onto the front straight, John Hotz was in this position just an hour ago.
Yeah.
He leads the field onto the front straight. Green flag is in the air, and we are back underway. Jordy Fuhrman tucks in right behind Hotz, going to cover to the inside just slightly as Chris Kelly, as Ron Etienne on all the way up at the 4th. The black number 76, he takes a look down driver's left with Kevin Gaiman in the green 113 machine right behind him. John Hotz, though, he's going to hold the position, hold the lead as they go into turn number 1. Nate Lucas there now in 4th as he gets back around Ron Etienne. Etienne having the battle with Gaiman as they come around through turns 1 and 2.
Tell you what, they got single file, but you're right. Ron Etienne with a heck of a start now. He's going to drop back into 5th. It is going to put Nate Lucas up into up into 4th right now, but a lot of cars, Greg, trying to get everything they can to get back on that throttle.
And John Hotz, David, I don't know if he's still trying to get some heat in the rear tires. He made a quick jiggle of the car between 2 and 3. The rear end really stepped out on him. He was in the center of the track. There was nothing that Fuhrman could do. But I don't know if perhaps the 63 machine doesn't feel too confident in the handling abilities of that car right now.
Yeah, let's see how this plays out here. He's got Jordy Fuhrman basically right up behind him. We saw yesterday had to go on the defense, or had to go on the defense with, or on the offense, with Jordy. Now today he's got to go back on the defense. He had to do this earlier today, so this isn't the first time he's had to try to defend somebody. As Jordy, again, right up behind him, going to try to get a good run in turn number 10.
Look for John Hotz when he comes off of turn number 10. You're going to see him make a move all the way over to driver's right. This is the normal line for John Hotz. This is what he likes to do in order to break that track. Sure enough, there it is. Everybody else is going to do that. A lot of drivers don't like it when they have to change their lanes, because now they got to move back into the left side of the track to get down into turn number 1. But that breaks the draft.
And Brian, Ron Etienne back at 6th position, almost a second and a half back from Nate Lucas. He moved over to driver's right, almost clipped the nose of the green 113 of Kevin Gaiman. Somehow nothing happened, but it was incredibly close as now they go 3 wide coming out of turn number 2. And right behind Ron Etienne, it's Gaiman, Kazem, and Zach Augustine. All the while, we said, oh, here's the chance for everybody to close things up on Hotz and Fuhrman and Chris Kelly. It's now not a 3-car fight, it's 2. It's Hotz and Fuhrman. Next time they hit the start-finish line, it'll be 1 lap to go.
Tell you what, Etienne under heavy pressure there from, I believe that may be Arif Kazem that got up in there. So move Kevin Gaiman back where he was up there again. When you come out of that turn 1 and turn 2 and you go 3 wide, it's that parachute effect. If you try to make that move too soon, it will not stick. You will fall back, and that's exactly what has happened to that 113 of Kevin Gaiman.
Guys start coming down the hill now. This is Jordan Fuhrman's chance down the front straightaway here with John Hotz. He's tucked up right underneath the back bumper there of the Hotz machine as they come to the start-finish line. The 1-to-go board will be out for our SSM field.
All right, gentlemen, we've got another car off at turn 10.
That's Parker Modem.
Yeah, Parker Moden in the Gulf liveried number 79 machine, and he is dead center in the track. He gets it back underway, and he is going to be able to continue. He's going to fall all the way back to the field, however, as that local caution now withdrawn at turn number 10. He ran wide into the gravel trap, and Brian saw it even earlier. He hooked the car right back across, but now under local caution, a new leader as Jordy Fuhrman gets around John Hotz. And now coming out of turn 2 as they come down through the chute. Very last lap, and Fuhrman, when he made the pass, did not bring Christopher Kelly, did not bring Nate Lucas into this fight. Lucas takes a look to the inside going into turn 5. Kelly opens the door, but not enough as that next battle back in the battle for 5th. That's one everybody called. Yeah, that's half the field right there. We'll check in with them in just a moment, but coming now through this carousel and into turn number 8, it is Jordy Fuhrman, your race leader, on the last lap. He turned the fastest lap. He was almost 0.3 of a second faster than John Hotz, and he's going to lead the field into the final corner now and on to the front straight. Looking to repeat here at Summit Point. Can he take the win 2 days in a row? Moving over to driver's right to block the draft, and as they come to the line, taking the win in SSM, Jordy Fuhrman is your winner for 2 days in a row. John Hotz finishes 8/100ths of a second. That's right, 8/100ths of a second behind. Chris Kelly will take the bronze. He'll finish in 3rd. Nate